What's up, guys? 5869 back with replay analysis number 44, I think. Anyways, we're going to be going over this Juggernaut carry. He says he's 2.6k. He had a really good laning stage thanks to the Bane he was with. He farmed efficiently and contributed in team fights, but they lost the game and they were struggling to figure out why. So we're going to kind of take a look at this and maybe talk a little bit about how to convert off just the laning stage. And from there, be able to force your advantage here. So there's a lot of fights going on. Snowball in on 2 here, surprisingly enough. We do have Blade Fury, which maybe you should think about using since you're getting kind of scary in terms of HP loss. You guys are still trying to fight for this. It's a little bit too late, I think. Nice Blade Fury going on, but there to get first blood, and now you're probably stuck between like 4 heroes, and that should be your life as well. There's Snowball, there's Lift, improper chaining from them. And if you get away, I'm sure they'll be sad. But you go down anyway. So, right there, I'm sure you knew immediately. Shit, I shouldn't have done that, whatever. But when there's like, usually, especially depending on the heroes early on. So, if I look at these heroes, I say they have a much, much better rune. They can secure a rune much better than you guys because they've got a Zeus Chain Lightning, fantastic, does spread out that damage across multiple heroes. Rubik, if he can cliff somebody, that's just like absolutely not game winning but lane winning. On top of that, they've got the Snowball, the Fissure. So you see all of them. You've got a Bane who nightmares, an OD who most likely is going to get his Astral first, and yourself, which yeah, spins great, but that's about it. Outside of that, you guys don't really have much. If the Wyvern's there, maybe there's some potential, but it's still really, really tough. So you guys should have just given that one up. You could have, escaped dying on 2 of your cores so early on. And yeah, that's that. If we take a look at itemization, the one thing I do want to say is within that first bit of time, while you're running from your fountain to the rune, you kind of want to take a look at the heroes on the enemy team and think about the type of game you want to play or the type of game it's going to be. So if I look at this, I'd say depending on how it goes, you guys should have better late game just because yourself and OD should be really good up against the Tiny. They do have a lot of early game rotation potential as well as a lot of mid game fighting potential with the Snowball. Rubik's fantastic at getting early kills. If he has, like brown boots, he can just run up, lift somebody. He doesn't have boots yet, but he's getting close. And they've, of course, got the Earthshaker with Fissure. So they've got a lot of potential to easily get ganks and stuff like that. So what I'm thinking, alright, I'm going to have to play fairly safe if I don't see either the Rubik, the Earthshaker, or the Tuskar on the map. So, I mean, like right now you can see the Tuskar and the Earthshaker. I highly doubt the Rubik's going to walk in without you seeing them. But still, you should probably be playing a little bit careful this game. So we'll keep an eye on that. Second of all, itemization. You've got a Mango Stout Shield and a bunch of regen. I kind of like that. I think Mango's actually really good on Juggernaut because it's essentially his entire mana pool. So it's not that bad. Gives you a little bit of lane regen, stuff like that. Stout is going to be pretty good against these 2 heroes. They don't really hit that hard. So blocking a majority of the damage is of course, going to be helpful. And then the regen, you're going to need the regen no matter what. I do like that. I'm not sure if I would go straight into the Poor Man Shield here. I think I would probably just go for like a Brown Boots Aquila rush. Just because I think your Bane should be harassing them out enough that you don't have to worry too much about trading hits efficiently with them. Which of course is what the Poor Man Shield does. It gives you some nice early agility, don't get me wrong. But Juggernaut already has some pretty solid base attack time. As well as just general damage. You've got spin as well, so this guy should be really careful. They both just walk into you. I don't know. I don't know what's happening right now. They just get so aggressive. You get your crit. That's good. I would just stop chasing and go back to CSing. Alright, you do that. And now it looks like you're probably going to buy Poor Man's, which again, it's not that big of a deal. It does give you a little bit, but I would probably go for like Brown Boots into Aquila, and then from there probably Phase, or get Phase first if I'm having a really good lane, just because you'll be able to pressure out the enemy offlaner so easily like that. So just keep CSing. You get a Quelling Blade, which is nice. Means you can jungle as well if you want to. You're pushing the lane kind of hard. I would maybe consider jungling right now. It looks like you're going Aquila before Boots. I'm not sure I agree with that all too much, just because I think Boots are so important, especially for escaping ganks. Like right now, if the Rubik has Boots and he wants to come top, there's not really much you could do, right? But that bonus move speed is always going to be effective and helpful when you're running away from a Snowball or a Rubik with Lift, stuff like that. Fissure sometimes can catch you, but that's about it. So again, these guys are just going ham, even though you've got Blade Fury. This Bane trades his life for the Tuskar, but I'll take that 9 times out of 10. Again, you're going for the Aquila, which it does give you some nice damage early on, I guess, but I just think that the boots are probably all the more important here. It also gives you the option to chase down these heroes when they're running away. Looks like your 4th point was in stats. I would say maybe like a 2-1-1 build is alright, because these guys are really aggressive, and you still have the Mango anyways, so any bonus mana is going to be useful, right? So I think 2-1-1's probably your best bet, honestly. You get that healing ward, so you guys can just sustain so much more. Now you don't have a salve either, so just something to think about. Getting kills out of like, I don't know, everything there. So you've got your boots now. Don't forget to pick those up ASAP. And I hope you don't skip boots for Battle Fury. Alright, so you got your Ring of Health. You got your boots. You're doing really well. You have Aquila Ring of Health as well. I would highly consider going into the jungle as much as possible here. So once you CS this lane, and the next wave, yeah, so this one's coming up, I would probably just try to push it down like as fast as possible. You've got Omni there. It looks like you go down. So those are the rotations I was talking about. They have a lot of early rotations. Rubik was there. Didn't even really need him. This guy just charges in. That was like a massive feed, but what can you do? Dota's going to be Dota. And you get a nice kill there. You got your healing ward, so you got really good sustain. CSing. And I would try to CS this lane like as quick as possible. Looks like you're going to do so, and jump into the jungle right now because it's under tower. You can't really safely farm just because of the heroes they have. I guess you can see Tusk ES bottom, but like if somebody TPs in and they lift you or something like that, you'll probably just die. So there you go. Again, you're dipping into the side shop. You could be getting this large camp. You go for a bot lane TP rotation, but instead, instead you die. Not the worst decision, but we'll see actually how this team fight ends up here. If we take a look at the fight recap, what did you lose out on? So you gained like, you actually lost out on quite a bit there. You spent 75 gold in order to TP bottom. So technically, altogether, you gained like 30 gold after helping out there because you got like 100 assist gold. However, you're missing out. You're going to end up missing out on about 2 waves worth of CS, which is somewhere around like, what is that, like 250 gold, as well as a bunch of EXP. So you miss out on quite a bit. You could have even been top if this Bane doesn't get the kill. You certainly could have helped him there get that kill. So you could have gotten a kill top for sure, and you wouldn't have had to waste the time rotating. You finally move into the jungle. That's great. You are strong enough to do the large camp, so yeah, there you go. Go to do that. You're in the jungle yet again. Now you're starting to CS well. Working on that Battle Fury. Good stuff. Gonna move back into the lane, help get a kill here. You do go down, unfortunately. We'll take a look at how this team fight went. Not that great, unfortunately. You guys lose out on quite a bit there. Seems like you lost a lot of gold after dying. This guy's just going ham. Still working on that Battle Fury. Doing good. There's a lot of farm mid lane. So again, when you're going for these items that are like farming oriented, you want to get them ASAP, right? So you don't need to fight all that much, especially since the enemy team has a much stronger fight than you guys, right? Like, wow, you got a nice double kill there. That was actually really good. But realistically, you guys shouldn't be fighting. You should probably communicate to the team, guys, we don't need to fight. We have an OD. We have a Juggernaut going Battle Fury. We're just going to go for the late game here. And that's really what you should be doing, like 200%. So you guys go top, fight again. Not all that bad. You're still pushing, but more importantly, there's so much farm mid lane. There's a lot of farm that's going to be coming up bot lane. You should probably maybe go for this kill, then go mid. But there's just so much non-stop fighting this game. I don't even know what's happening. You just get a triple kill, unstoppable. This game's absolutely nonsense. People dying. You're going for the Ancients. Nice little Ancient stack. And now you go for Agnum Scepter. So I see where you're coming from with the Agnum Scepter. I do think it's a fairly strong item. However, I don't really agree with it. It makes your ultimate really, really strong, of course. But I think, first of all, you want to max your crit dance or whatever, blade dance. You want to max that most likely because that's going to help out your damage potential like tenfold. And then from there, you don't really want an eggs. I think Mask of Madness is still viable on Juggernaut. If you want to fight, I would probably just go for something like Drums, Mask of Madness, something like that, and then you can just fight like crazy. I still think Manta Style is incredibly strong on Juggernaut as well, so you probably could have gone like Yasha into Mask of Madness. Like I still think the like 6.8 Juggernaut was probably like the best build that you could go for him. 6.83, right? We're on 6.85. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 6.83. Anyways, I still think that build was the strongest one. Right there was actually something that a lot of people don't recognize, but let's just see how long. So, Creep Wave's dead at 21:55, and you guys wait there until 22:15-ish for the next Creep Wave. You easily have enough time to get this large camp, as well as probably this small camp, just increasing your net worth by like 200, 300 almost there, like 250, 240, something like that. Would have been really good, like really good for you. That could have been the difference between one more item later on in the game, or you know, what have you, just anything really. You're going for the helm. I don't think the helm build's that great. It does leave you open for the satanic. However, I think if you want to tank up, you probably just go for like a Scotty, something like that. So still just farming around, pushing around, not that bad. I would be careful right now. You're getting really low. Oh my god, these fights are absolute nonsense. Cold Embrace doing so much work. Omni Slash yet again. So you guys are pushing well. Looks like you're going for the Manta. Drop on a nice healing ward. Steal their Ancients. That's pretty huge. Now you've got the Helm. And the one thing I do want to say is, if you're trying to be as efficient as possible with the Helm, stack the Ancients. You have a Battle Fury, stack the Ancients. Like 220%, you want to be stacking the Ancients. If you've never done it, you're not comfortable with it, the only way you'll get better is by doing it. You sold your Tequila instead of your Poor Man's Shield. That's a pretty bad decision. Poor Man's Shield falls off after like 15 minutes into the game, maybe even earlier depending on the heroes. But realistically, this Poor Man's Shield's not doing much for you. You probably should have gone top and just split pushed. If we take a look at that fight, let's just go over that decision making real quick here. A lot of loud stuff. Reborn's really bad for that. I absolutely hate it, and I'm sorry if I just like killed your ears. But let's take a look at this right now. So you buy that stuff. You're literally top right beside that creep wave that's pushing in right now, top lane, and then you just run towards bottom already. But let's look at this team fight. This guy gets kind of a nice Winter's Curse off, but it doesn't matter. There's like 5 heroes here. The Winter Wyvern's already dead. They're not going to get anything off this Winter's Curse. One, because there's a Slept hero, a Fiend's Grifted hero that's not taking any damage, and then the Zeus just ults. Like, this is 110%. Like, the OD's so far away as well. He's trying to buy... Huh. Alright, well, not sure what that OD's going for. But this fight's over, like, already. Like, you could still turn around 100%. I know you're like, oh, they're all so close, and I've got, like, my ulti with a Battle Fury. But you only get 1 kill because you ulti the hero that's Cold Embraced, and he doesn't take physical damage, unfortunately. So, despite the fact that this is labeled as... Oh, no, I thought it was labeled as magical. Alright, well, there you go. So, yeah, it's all physical damage. In which case... Why did I think it was labeled as magical? I don't know. In which case, it was a lot of wasted time. You could have been split pushing top. So even if your team dies, there, you still get a lot of work done top. You may even be able to get this tower. You for sure would be able to. It looks like you sold your Yasha in order to grab a BKB, which I don't agree with at all. Okay, so BKB on Jugg isn't bad. You don't really want to go for it though. You want to just output as much damage as possible through your items. So like Manta Style, Scotty as well would be really good against this team because you're up against a Tiny who doesn't have great attack speed in general. So you're going to be reducing it with that Eye of Scotty by quite a bit, mind you. Let's see. I don't know this offhand, which is really bad, but attack slow, 45 attack slow, like that's actually huge. You don't notice it, but it's passives like this in a team fight that are actually game winning that you don't notice, right? So you'd be slowing his attack speed by 45. What is his attack speed right now? 105. Do you see that? That's almost half of his attack speed right now, just with Scotty. Like, that's stupid. That's ridiculous. That's like, he attacks once every like almost 2.5 seconds if you get Scotty there. If you just go like Yasha Scotty or straight Scotty, right? So these are the types of items that'll honestly just win you the game, even though it doesn't feel like it. This OD is like absolutely useless right now. This game is like 200% on your back, so you can't afford to itemize improperly, not use your items as efficiently as possible. You grab a Helm of the Dominator, yet you don't stack the Ancients, in which case a Mask of Madness would have been more useful because you want to use Mask of Madness during Omni Slash, and you actually get an extra hit out per slash, I believe. So you actually do use your right clicks through Omni Slash, which means that if you have a Mask of Madness, you increase the amount of right clicks that you have through Omni Slash, so you deal quite a bit more damage, a considerable amount more damage actually. So could have gone for a Mask of Madness as well as a Scotty. I think that would have absolutely just wrecked this team like 100%. This Tiny now, his attack speed is 160 now that, you know, he's grabbing a Hyperstone, but still you see where we're coming from, right? Like, this guy needs to build attack speed. So if you can slow his attack speed, you can essentially just nullify this Hyperstone, right? So one of the Hyperstones you immediately make useless by grabbing your Scotty, which, I mean, that's not the only reason. Scotty's still a fantastic item, gives you tons of stats, tanks you up, gives you more agility, makes your Manta illusions all the much stronger. That slow is absolutely brutal against a 3 melee core lineup, and I think it can't be underestimated, right? So there is a reason why the 6.83 Jugg was built the way he was, and it was because it's pretty well the most efficient build. Sure, Mask of Madness got nerfed heavily, but it's still really, really good. So always got to keep that in mind. You guys are still ahead, and another thing is that Juggernaut is like a ridiculously good hero at roshing. So the fact that you guys haven't roshed yet is like very disheartening. I think a lot of people really just don't want to go for Roche. They're like, oh, look, the tower, whatever. However, a couple things are happening here. You don't know if this Tiny has buyback. If he does, you guys will most likely lose 1 or 2 just because they have Fissure and Snowball. They have a ton of chase, a ton of catch. So if this guy's buyback, you guys end up losing 1 or 2. Instead, you could have just gone for the Aegis. It's way safer. And it looks like you guys might even still lose 2. Very, very awkward fight so far. You've used your ulti, haven't really gotten anything out of it yet, and you guys are diving so deep right now. This guy gets a double kill, you guys lose 3, and again, nobody is taking Roshan just yet. And if you guys take Rosh, you easily probably win this game right off that Rosh, right? Like, where is their damage that they can kill you with a BKB twice? Nowhere. Like, there is like nowhere. These guys get absolutely murdered by an Aegis Juggernaut, like 200%. So you guys could go for a Rosh now. It looks like you are, finally. Good stuff. Good stuff. What did you drop? Oh, your helm. Okay, so there you go. Yeah, you get rid of the helm. I'm okay with that, I guess. What are you trying to buy here? Manta style recipe? Maybe it's just a bug. Gonna go back to your perspective here in a second. And here we go. Alright, so stuff's going down here. Everybody's about to die. You get a fairly nice ulti off you Manta as well. I probably would save the Manta most likely. Getting spins on this guy. He's getting really tanky again, and you should be able to get the kill. Oh my lord, there you go. Your illusion gets that nice crit. This guy's slowing you down, and this should be it. Like, this should be game 100%. Or at least racks, sorry. Maybe not game, but this should be racks. They have buyback. You need to at least force buyback, which ultimately is really bad for them. You've got a Manta. There you go. You get a buyback. And right after they buy back, you get the kill. So, You have no BKB. Usually you want to save your BKB until after Aegis. You go down there. You get pretty greedy, honestly. You get pretty greedy there. So that's a huge issue. So Spirit Breaker's pretty much dead. You need to just run the hell away. Instead, you're hitting the tower, and then you like spin in, and then you're like, oh shit, I only have Manta, I have no BKB, and I'm pretty screwed, and then you die. So you should have just ran out, got a little bit greedy there, and everybody gets greedy sometimes, so I don't really blame you. But I mean, if you didn't notice that misplay, it definitely happened. Now you're going for a Satanic, which again, it's not that good on Jugg, right? Like, it doesn't give your illusions that much. Scotty tanks you up quite a bit still, and more importantly, you're going to be either spinning or using Omni Slash, right? So you don't have that good of a time to get off a Satanic just because you're going to be using your abilities as well. So I don't really agree with it. I understand the you know, the saying, all right, if I can get a Satanic, I'm good. You do have really nice attack speed, which is great, so you can get that Satanic off. You've also got like a BKB, so you can secure the Satanic, but really your window to win this game is starting to get lower and lower, just because normally I wouldn't say that, but this guy's got like 4-staff BKB 42 minutes in, and again, this is a super heavy game for you, so you need to just be outputting as much damage as possible. And you do get a nice kill there. And there you go. You're going in again, and now it gets sketchy. Use your BKB, and that's not good because now you don't have a BKB for your ulti, or not your ulti, sorry, your Satanic, and that's the thing, right? You need to ensure that you can get that Satanic off without being stopped, but they have a ton of disables. So they have like Toss, Lift, Snowball, Fissure, Avalanche, they have even Thunderbolt to an extent, like they have, or Lightning Bolt, I mean, they have so much to be able to prevent you from getting, you know, those few attacks off during Satanic. You guys go for a Roshan, you get a couple of kills, but you all die, and that's game right there, pretty much. You guys go for a Rosh blindly, they just walk in, kill you, and now that's pretty well game. So, what can we go over? Itemization, of course, something to keep an eye on. I don't think eggs is really that great. I don't think it even helped you get that many kills, in all honesty. I think maybe it helps secure a couple, but when they have like Ghost Scepter and they're already so tanky, you need to focus more on your right clicks as well as your itemization to get out as much damage as possible. So, you know, Mask of Madness, Scotty, and then from there you can maybe even buy like a freaking Moon Shard, like who knows, right? You just got to get as much damage out as possible. If you get Aghanim Scepter, you're basically relying so heavily on Omni Slash because that item slot is essentially useless in terms of what it gives you. It gives you some fairly good stats, but not good enough, right? Like, it's not a damage item. It's an item that you get for pressing R, and outside of that, you don't have much. And then on top of that, you go Satanic, which isn't a damage item. So you're not really hitting that hard, right? Like, you've only got Scotty. I mean, you've only got Satanic, Aghanim Scepter. Those two items are doing absolutely nothing in your inventory at this point, so you don't really hit that hard. These three items actually in general are pretty bad in terms of DPS, and then you kind of just get wrecked. If you have like probably Scotty, Mask of Madness, and then even one more item, could have even been like Daedalus, MKB, I'm trying to think what else could have been a good item this game. Abyssal would have been like game winning, 110% would have been fantastic. Even Silver Edge wouldn't have been that bad just to disable Craggy, considering that gives him 5 actually no, it's not that great. You could have gone AC, you could have gone Mjolnir. There's a lot more items that would have been great. I think Abyssal probably would have been the best item if you've got Mask of Madness, Abyssal, and Scotty. I don't know if you can lose the game, honestly. And then on top of that, if you're getting richer and richer, you get rid of this battle fear. You probably buy an MKB if they have a butterfly on Tiny or something, or you buy a Daedalus or something like that if they don't have any evasion, which surprisingly enough they don't. This guy doesn't get a solar crest. They don't have any evasion. Maybe you take up even more. You get an AC, considering he's got an AC. They're hitting you so hard. This guy's starting to right click quite hard as well, and it just gives you even more damage. But just itemization, work on it. A few bad decisions like going in here or there. Instead of pushing top, you know, maybe this tower could have been down. You could have pressured this lane a lot more as well. You guys take a long time to get Roshan, even though you have like a huge early game advantage. You win like 2 or 3 team fights. You don't go for a Roshan, and then you finally do. You try to convert on it. There's only 2 of you. You get really greedy. You try to go for the kill. Instead, you just die again. Try to save your BKB for the reincarnation, because either you'll need it to like get away, or you can maybe turn around after reincarnation and get a couple kills before you die. So something to keep in mind there. Early game wasn't that bad. You could have hopped in the jungle a little bit more. Again, bot lane, remember that you guys just stood here for like a minute. You could have gone, or not a minute, but like 30 seconds. You could have gone up here, gotten a couple camps. That's like 300 more gold that you could have had. Sounds stupid, but realistically, efficiency is everything, and that's how you get better. You did go Helm, which, I mean, isn't the worst thing, but you didn't use it to stack the Ancients. So a lot of Helm's usefulness comes out of the fact that you can stack Ancients and just get a huge golden EXP increase by having those Ancients stacked. So that was just something to keep in mind. If you are ever going to go Helm, you have to be sure to stack the Ancients with it, and you didn't. So unfortunately, you aren't super efficient with that one either. And it looks like essentially you guys are going to lose. Always remember, past the 40-ish minute mark, even like 38 minutes, you want to be very aware of your buyback potential. You know, if we die now, are they going to be able to push? Well, they've got a Tiny, and they've got some Crit Shaker who actually just eats towers alive. So that's something to keep in mind, that they actually do go through towers quite quickly. And if you die, you're really going to need your buyback. So you could have kept that in mind. And again, Satanic didn't really work out for you, so itemization, stuff like that. CSing early on was great. You did well in lane. And I don't want to be too harsh on you. You didn't lose this game only because of your misplays. You know, your team, of course, your OD had a really rough time. Your Bane did quite well, so props to him. Spirit Breaker, I saw him feed like once or twice. That's whatever, shit happens. You can always win a game, even if your teammates are, you know, really... I mean, you guys almost won this game despite your teammates, right? So a lot of it just came down to itemization. This guy just got a Craigie on you, again, which is why Satanic's not that great, because you can't necessarily man-fight him during that time. So you just... That Craigie just completely wrecked your Satanic. Made it absolutely useless. So, good game, well played, man. Thanks for sending it in. I hope you did get quite a bit off of this, and I didn't want to come out too harsh, but unfortunately, sometimes you got to point out the mistakes to people, and hopefully I did point out the mistakes. So, just make sure you're being as efficient as possible with your build. Again, within those first like 30-ish seconds while you're walking from Fountain to the rune, look at the enemy heroes, think about your itemization. So say, hey, you know, Tiny's got really shit attack speed. He's going to go for an Aghanim Scepter. If I get an early Scotty, that makes him fairly useless outside of Avatar's combo. So, you know, I can really reduce his attack speed by, you know, if you would have had Scotty, which you could have had it because you had Aghanim Scepter, plus a little bit more, you could have had Scotty, you could have effectively reduced his attack speed by half, and that's like ridiculous. Like, that's so good. So good. It would have made your Manta Illusions better as well. So just stuff like that to keep in mind. Look at the enemy heroes. Think about how you should play it out. Think about the items you should build. Because Dota really is a game about thinking and being as efficient as possible and stuff like that. So thanks again for sending the replay in, man. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And hopefully everybody else who watched it got a little bit of something as well. So thanks for watching the video. If you want to check out more, I've got like 40 some of these. I'm just about to hit the 50 mark. So maybe I should have a party or something. But nevertheless, take care, guys. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to check out some of my other videos. I have my series From Lane to Lane where I just cast some everyday pubs that you guys send me. I also do some more professional pubs like games from Koikva, Miracle, whoever I can get my hands on from Dota Buff. I have a learning series as well, so feel free to check that out. There's some more info in the description as well as some videos linked in the annotations at the end here. Thanks a lot.